Alright guys, so this is the 14th question and it's a question on bearing. It says find the bearing, and these are 3 points, R, P and Q. We are asked to find their bearing. It said find the bearing of Q from P, then bearing of P from Q, bearing of R from P, and the bearing of P from R. We start from, that's where we're starting from. We start from the one that has from, and then we go to the question that is to what we are asked to find. So yeah, we're starting from P. Start from the north of everything. First of all, before we even start, we need to first of all draw their cardinal points. Starting from the north, draw the cardinal point for all of the points. I'm just going to extend that of P. So we go like that. And then R, draw the cardinal points on R. We all start from the north. Okay, so the bearing of Q from P, I'm starting from P, I'm going to Q. So from P, I'm going straight to Q. Okay, this is a line that goes to Q. And that's just 75 degrees. The angular distance, like the line covers, from P to Q. This angular distance is the bearing of Q from P. Okay, and that's 75 degrees. The question says, number 2, the bearing of P from Q. So we are starting from Q this time around. We start from the north of Q, we go all the way to P. Okay, so it covers the first 90 in this first quadrant, the second 90 in this second quadrant, and this small angle here. We don't know what it is, but we know that alternate angle means that if this is 75, this is going to be 75. So it's going to be 90, 90, and 75. That's going to be 180 plus a 75, and that's going to give us 255 degrees. So that's the bearing of P from Q. Goes all the way from Q to P. And the third one says the bearing of R from P. So from P now we are going all the way to R. So we are going all the way from here to here. So it covers this first 90, this second 90, and a small angle here which we don't know. So we need to find this small angle. If we check from here, this 165 angle like this, it covers this 90 and a small angle to give what? 165. So if this is a 90, what small angle do we need here to complete this 165 here? That's going to be what? 165 minus 90, and that's going to give us 75. So this angle here is 75 degrees. If this angle is 75 degrees, and we know that the quadrant angle here is the entire 90, that means 15 degrees is going to be left here. Okay, so which means the bearing of R from P all the way to R is 90, 90, and 15. That is going to be 180 plus 15, and that is going to give us 180 plus 15 should give us 195. So that's 195 degrees. And then the bearing of P from R. So from R now we are going to P. There's this line that goes to P from R. So it goes all the way from R straight to P. And that's that angle here. We don't know it, but we know that alternate angles are equal. So this is 15. It has got to also be 15. So the bearing of P from R is 15 degrees. And that's the 14th question. See you in the next question. Alright, this is number 15. It says the exterior angles of a polygon are this. We are meant to find each of the angles. So very quickly, we know that the exterior angles of any polygon at all, must add up to 360. So quickly, we're just going to be adding all of them up and equating them to 360. So we have x plus 2x plus 3x plus 6x all must be equal to 360 degrees. So let's add it up together. This is 1x plus 2x, that's 3x. 3x plus 3x, that's 6x. 6x plus 6, so that's going to be 12x equals 360 degrees. Then divide both sides by 12. So we're going to be 360 divided by 12. Then x is going to be equal to 12 in 36 should be 3. So angle x is 30. So the first angle is 30. The second angle is going to be 2x. It's going to be 2 times 30 because x is 30. That makes it to be 60 degrees. The third one is going to be 3x, which is 3 times 30, which is what? That's going to be 90 degrees. The last one is going to be 6x, which is going to be 6 times 30, which is 180. If you add up all of these angles together, they must add up to 360. So that's the 15th question. Let's move on to the 16th one. Alright guys, so the 16th question. It says if triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF and AB is 6 centimeters, DE is 9 centimeters, and AC is 8 centimeters, I have to find DF. Okay, you can see the question mark is already there. They are similar triangles, that means their corresponding sides are going to be, the ratio of their corresponding sides will be equal. So that means we take AB all over the corresponding side, which is DE, ABDE over DE. It must be the same thing as AC all over what? DF. And must be equal to BC all over EF. So what is, alright, so AB is 6, and then DE is 9, because AC is 8. This F, we don't know it, equals BC all over EF. So we only pick the ones that we need. We are looking for DF. So this is DF. We're just going to be using these two fractions, okay? So we have 6 all over 9 equals 8 all over DF. If you cross multiply, I'm having 6DF equals 9 times 8, okay? So DF is going to be equal to what? 9 times 8 all over 6. So DF is going to be equal to 9 times 8 is 72. 72 all over 6. I think that should be 6 in 7, 1, remainder 1, right? 6 in 12 is 2. So that's 12 centimeters. So that's the answer there. Alright guys, on to the 17th question. To say what percentage of 12 is 8? But you're going to be using this as word problem and then we're solving it. What percentage? We can say X percentage of 12 is 18. Sorry, it's supposed to be 8. It's supposed to be 8. It should be 8. So X percentage of 12 is 8. That's what it means. What percentage of 12 is 8? I know the X percentage means X all over 100. Of means times, and then this is 12 equals 8. You can decide to multiply 3 by 100, being the common denominator to everything, but being the denominator. But you can just decide to still do it like this. X times 12, that's going to be 12x all over 100 equals 8 all over 1. If you cross multiply, you'll be having 800 equals 12x. Alright, so x equals what? 800 divided by 12. Take both of them, divide both of them by 2, we have 400 all over 6. Divide by 2 again, we are going to be having 200 all over 3, and that should give us around 66.666%, something like that. Okay, you can decide to take it to the using our to mixed number as well, but that's going to be the answer. That'll be 60 to number 1 over 6% if you want. All right, so the 18th question. All right, so the 18th question says 2x plus 6 equals 1 over 3x plus 3. Now what we do here is just to straight away we can collect like terms. Take 6 from here to go and meet 3 here, and bring all the x, bring 2x and 1 over 3x over to this side. So so going to be 2x, I can say all over 1 minus 1 all over 3x equals 3 minus 6. So I have 2x all over 1 minus 1 all over 3x equals 3 minus 6. That is going to give us minus 3. I can put it over 1. Then I'll multiply through by 3, which is the denominator. 1 and 3 and 1. The LCM is 3. To multiply each of these terms by 3. So I'm going to multiply this by 3. I multiply this by what? By 3. And I multiply this by 3. Alright? To clear out the fraction. So 3 times 2x, that's going to give us 6x. Then 3 is going to cancel 3 here. Minus 1 times x, we have minus x. Equals minus 3 times 3, that's going to be minus 9. All right, so I'm just going to 6x minus 1x. That's going to give us 5x equals negative 9. Now x is going to be equal to what? Divide both sides by 5. I'm going to be having x equals negative 9 all over 5, which is going to be negative 1 whole number 4 all over 5. 4 over 5 should be, I think, 0.8. So it's going to be negative 1.8 thereabout. So that should be the answer to the 18th question. All right, guys. Welcome to the 19th question. So as you can see, this question is based on indices. So how to answer this question is that we express both of them as the same base. The same base. This is base 3. 27 2 has to be in a particular base. Both of them have to be in the same base. Because we know that if they're in the same base, then we can equate their powers. Okay? Just like when you have something like a raised to power 3, for example, is equal to a raised to power y. We can cancel the bases and just say a equals, 3 equals y, okay, or y equals 3, because they have the same base. So we try and express these two expressions to these two numbers to have the same base. 3 is already on base 3. 27 can be written as the base of 3. As we know that 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. So 27 is 3 raised to power 3. So I'm just going to be writing 27 like that. So I'll repeat this one. This is 3 raised to power x minus 6 equals 27 will be what? 3 raised to power 3. But you know there's a 2 there. There's a power of 2 there before. I'm just going to be enclosing it like this and be writing the power to show that it is multiplying. This power is multiplying the new 3. All right, good. So we now go again. 3 raised to power x minus 6 is going to be equal to, you now multiply the power by the power. 3 times 2 is what? 3 times 2 is 6. So we have 3 raised to power 6. Now the bases are the same. This is 3, this is 3. Just like we cancelled a and a here, I'm not going to go ahead and cancel 3 and 3. Equate the powers now, just like I equated 3 to y that time and y to 3, y equals 3. I'm going to be equating this to this. So I have 3x minus 6 equals what? 6. All right. So if I say x minus 6 equals to 6, all right, then I can find the value of x. How do I find the value of x? Transfer minus 6 to this side. It becomes plus 6. And there's a 6 already existing. It becomes 6 plus 6. So x equals 12. So x equals 12. If you cross check it, then you can carry this x and plug it in this expression. See whether it's going to give us the same thing on this left hand side. 12 minus 6. 12 minus 6 is actually what? 6. So this means 3 raised to power 6. And 3 raised to power 6 is the same thing as 27 raised to power 2. You can cross check both of them out and get your answer. So the answer is 12. Going to number 20. It says square root of x equals 3, square root of y equals 4. We should find square root of x plus y. So first of all, we're going to get the value of x, and square root of y, we're going to get the value of y. You know what we normally do when we cancel square root? I mean, how to cancel square root? We just square both sides, okay? So if x, square root of x, sorry, equals 3, how do I get x? I just square root both sides. If I take the square root of both sides, I'm going to get in square root of x all squared. Sorry, I'm going to take the square of both sides, yes, and then 3 squared. So square root and square are going to cancel out, leaving us with just x, and x equals 9. I do the same thing for y. Square root of y equals what? 4. I do the same thing. I take the square of both sides, then square of both sides, then square and square root will cancel out. I have y equals 4 squared is 16. Then on to the question that we asked to find. It says to find the square root of x plus y. I now know my x to be 9. I know my y to be 16. So basically, I'm looking for square root of what? 9 plus 16. That square root of 9 plus 16 is 25. And we know that square root of 25 is 5. Simple. All right. Moving on to number 21. If x plus y equals 5 and x plus y plus z equals 7. Find x plus y all squared, all raised to power z, sorry. So now from this expression, we know that x plus y equals 5. So which means that instead of writing this x plus y here again, I can just say 5 plus z. Then I can easily find my z, right? So if x plus y is 5, so the whole of this x plus y is 5. So it just becomes 5 plus z equals 7. Then I can find my z, right? So z equals 7 minus 5. So z equals 2. Now we are finding this expression. You know that x plus y is already 5. So I can just plug it inside here. It becomes what? 5 all raised to power z. But z is now 2. So 5 raised to power 2 equals 25. Coincidence with this other question, right? Alright guys, see you in the next question. That'll be 22nd. Um Alright guys, so number 22. A triangle has sides of length 5 centimeters, 8 centimeters, and 11 centimeters. Find a similar triangle whose shortest side is of length 7 centimeters. So we know that similar triangles, they must have their ratio, the ratios of their sides must be the same. Okay, so I'm taking the ratio of this second one, the shortest of them. I'm dividing it by the shortest ratio of the shortest side of this one. Then I'm assuming y or x for the other length of this other triangle. I'm placing it over 8. I'm taking another variable all over 11. So that's how I'm starting first of all with the smallest sides all over the smallest sides. Okay, so I'm having 7 all over 5. Okay, it must be equal to the second triangle. I don't know the length, the second length of it. I'm just going to call it x all over 8 of this other triangle equals, then the other length, which I don't know, let me call it y all over 11. Okay, all of this must be equal. So what do I do next? I take 2 that are complete. I can take 7 over 5 and x over 8, or 7 over 5 and y over 11. So I'm starting with a 7 over 5 and x over 8. I'm trying to multiply it. So 5 times x, that's going to be 5x equals 7 times 8. That's going to be 56. Okay. 7 times 7, 49. 7 times 8, 56. Yeah, so dividing both sides by by 5, I should be having x to be equal to 56. That's going to be 1 here. 5 and 6. 5 and 6 is 1, and then we are left with 1 all over 5. So that's going to be the length of x. Then to get y, I'm going to get 7 over 5 and y over 11. So 7 over 5 equals what? Y over 11. I'm going to cross multiply again. As 5 times y, that's going to be 5y equals 7 times 11, 77. So y equals 77 all over 5. Okay, so 5 and 7, that's going to be 1, remainder 2. 5 and 27, that will be 5, remainder 2 all over 5. So that should be the answer for the other side. So the sides of that triangle will be 7, then 11 over 1 over 5, and 15 whole number 2 all over 5. So that will be the length of the other triangle, whose shortest side is 7 centimeters. So the next thing is number 23. It says to calculate the value of y. Calculating the value of y, as we know, it's an angle we are looking for. So to calculate the angle, we are going to be needing this side and this side. How do we know this side? The entire length is 15 and this is already 9. So that means this side, this triangle, is going to just be what? That's just going to be 15 minus 9. And that triangle is going to be 15 minus 9 should be around 6. That would be 6. So I'm going to just write it out here. Just draw it out here. So I'm having 6. Of course, this side is going to be parallel to this and equal to this. So this is going to be 12. and this side is going to be 6. So you're looking for y. Of course, as you know now, this clearly Sukatwa problem is going to be opposite, and this is going to be what adjacent. So what do I have? That's going to be tan. So you have tan y equals opposite as 6 all over 12. All right. So that's going to be tan y equals 1 all over 2. Of course, to get y as an angle is going to be y equals tan inverse of 1 over 2. 1 over 2 is 0.5. So tan inverse of 0.5, that would be the answer. Okay. I'm going to 24. It says to find the length of BC, the entire length BC here. As you can see, we have two right angle triangles here. This is actually a right angle triangle too. Okay. So I'm taking BK first of all. If I take BK, this makes this to be the opposite, but I do not know adjacent, and I do not know its hypotenuse. The same thing here, but here I'm having this other triangle AKC. I have the opposite, which is 5, and I do not know its adjacent or its hypotenuse. So how do we go about that? Okay, so we can just find this. Let's call it x. Can easily find x because if this is opposite now, so we have opposite and we have an angle. All right, so that would definitely give us this adjacent here. Okay, so that is going to be opposite all over adjacent. That's going to be tan. So tan 25 equals opposite is 5 all over adjacent, which is x. And according to the question, we've been given tan 25 to be 0.47. Tan 25 is 0.47. So how do I get my x? I can put this all over 1. So cross multiply. So I'm going to get x to be the formula to be x is going to be 5 all over tan 25. And that's going to be 5 all over tan 25 is been given as 0.47. 0.47. So 5 over 0.47. So this makes it to be 10.6. 10.63 centimeters. So I know my x is 10.63 centimeters. Now I can find my y. Y can also be easily found. Okay, this is also opposite. Okay, so I can find y. Y is the adjacent. So that's going to be tan 35 equals opposite, which is 5 all over adjacent, which is y. Make this over 1. If I cross multiply, eventually I get my value for my expression for y, making it such that the formula y is going to be 5 all over tan 35. And that's going to be 5 all over what's tan 35. Tan 35 is being given as 0.70. 0.70. So y is going to be 5 over 0.70. That's going to be 7.14. So the entire length BC is made up of y and x. So that's going to be y plus x. Y is already 10.63. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and add it to what? 7.14. And that's going to give me 14 points. So BC, which is the same thing as y plus x, will be what? 14.28 centimeters. To the 25th question. Welcome back. So this is number 25. It says to express this fraction as a single fraction. As you can see, there are two fractions that are, kind of like subtracting each other. So we have to make both of them to be a single fraction. And what we do here is just to take the LCM of the denominators, which are 4y and y. So we find the LCM. Let me write the question. X minus, that's x is all over 4y, this all over y. So this is going to be the same thing as, okay, let me write it down here. What's the SCM of 4y and y? Definitely that's going to be 4y. So 4y in 4y is 1. 1 times x, we have x minus. Y in 4y, if y cancels y, we're left with 4. So 4 times x, that's going to be what? 4x. And that's just that. I might decide to just factorize. We factorize, x is common, so x, open a bracket, 1 minus 4 all over 4y. So that's how you turn to, if you open the bracket, x times 1x, x times minus 4 minus 4x, yeah. So let's go to number 26. So that's how you turn to a single fraction. Number 26, it says to solve for x if x plus 3 minus x equals 6. What we do here is just to open the bracket with this negative here. Okay, open the bracket. So it becomes x plus 3, open the bracket, becomes minus 3, minus times minus plus x, all equals 6. Okay, plus 3 minus 3 will cancel out. Okay, plus 3 minus 3 is 0, so that's x, that's plus 3 minus 3 going. We are left with x plus x, which is what? 2x equals 6. Divide both sides by 2, we are going to have ourselves 3 as the answer. All right, that's number 26. Then number 27 says to find the value of x. You can see this shape now. What kind of shape is it? It's a five-sided shape. It's a pentagon. And what's the sum of angles in a pentagon? That should be 540. So it means we add all of these angles together and just equate it to 540. I'm going to start with this 2x plus 10. You may choose to start with whatever you want. That's convenient for you. So I'm going to have 2x plus 10 plus 148 plus 2x plus 112, and then the fifth angle here, which is going to be 90 as shown. So 90, everything equals to 540. Okay, just collect the like terms. 2x plus 2x, that's going to give us 4x. So we add 10 plus 148, that's going to be 158. 158 plus 112 plus 90, that's going to give us 360. So all these other ones, we plus 360. Everything equals to 540. So we transfer 360 to that side. 4x becomes 540 minus 360. So we have 180. So 4x equals 180. So x is going to be 180 divided by 4. That should be around 45. Short. So x equals what? 45 degrees. So that is x. If you put x in this equation back, and add everything all up, it will give you 540. And then number 28, it says to find A and B. As you know, this is transversal. It cuts two parallel lines. It cuts through two parallel lines, creating some special angles. Okay. If you know your way around angles that are formed by transversal lines on parallel lines, then this shouldn't be a problem. So of course, we know that this is going to be 120 because that's vertically opposite angles. And if this is 120, 120 will be the same thing as 4a because that's going to make both angles alternate angles. So we can just get it from there. 120 equals what? 4a. Of course, we can get our a by just dividing both sides by 4. Divide both sides by 4. A is going to be equal to 120 divided by 4. That's going to be 30. So a is 30. A has been found. Then we check B and 4a. They are on a straight line. Now we know angles on a straight line equal to 3 and 180. They are supplementary angles. So we have B plus 4a equals what? 180. And we know that a is already what? 30. So it's going to be B plus 4 times 30 equals 180. Alright? If you open the bracket, that's going to be B plus 4 times 30 is 120 equals 180. Then B is going to be 180 minus 120. B should be equal to 60 degrees. This is number 29. We are looking for the value of x. As you can see, this triangle is an isosceles triangle, which means that the base angles, which are here and here, they are the angles of the base of the triangle. They are going to be the same thing. All right, this angle here and this angle here, they are the same thing. Of course, we know that this 110, it's on a straight line. So this is going to make this one to be what? Angles on a straight line must be equal to 180. So this is already 110. This will make this one to be 70. Okay, and if this is 70, automatically is the base angle. This is going to be what? 70. So this is 70 plus 70. 70 plus 70 is already 140. You know the angles in a triangle must be 180. So it is 70, this is 70. Automatically, this is going to be 40, right? Because everything has to be 180. 140 plus 40 is 180. So now we have X, we have 140, we have the third angle here on this straight line. Angles on a straight line must be 180 again. And this is X, this is 40. What's going to be this angle? If you check it out very well, this angle is is going to form angle 90 here. It's going to form angle 90 here. So we now have X plus 40 plus what? Plus 90. Why is it 90, by the way? Because there's an angle 90 given here, and this is a straight line. It is an angle 90 automatically. That's going to make this one to be what? To also be 90. You understand? So that's going to be 90, 90. Okay. So we know the angle on the straight line is going to be this 90 plus this 40 plus this X all be equal to 180 degrees. 90 plus 40, that's going to be 130. So that's going to be 130 plus X equals 180. Then X is going to be 180 minus 130, so X will be 50 degrees. X will be 50 degrees, yeah. And the 30th question, this is actually quite simple. It might look complex, but it's very simple. It says to calculate the area of the trapezium. Trapezium, if you know the formula for the area of trapezium, it's going to be easy for you. Okay. This is supposed to be 14, by the way. It is 14 centimeters. Yeah, the entire length there is 14 centimeters. So what's the area of trapezium is a plus b height all over 2. A plus b, a and b represents the parallel sides, this parallel line and this parallel line. They are your a and b. And then we need our height. How do we know the height? This is the height here. This dotted line represents the height. It's not given. It's the only one that's not given. So we need to find it. If you check, this is a right angle triangle. As you can see, this is a right angle here. So this is a right angle triangle, and this is the hypotenuse of that angle of that right angle triangle. So we need to find this h. You might just want to bring it out separately. So I want to bring it out. So that's going to be this 45. This is 8 centimeters, and this is my h. How do I find h? Using SOHCAHTOA. What are we given? This is hypotenuse, and then we are looking for the opposite. How do we know it's opposite? Whatever this angle faces makes it to be the opposite. So that means we have hypotenuse and we have opposite. That's going to be sine. Okay. SOHCAHTOA. So it's sine that has opposite and hypotenuse. So that's going to be what? Sine 45 equals opposite. Opposite is h all over hypotenuse is 8. This is all over 1. If you cross multiply, we have 1 times h is h. It's going to be what? Sine 45 times 8. And then we are going to, yeah, I just want to see if I'm correct here. I think I am correct. So sine 45 should give something around that times 8. That would be 5.65. 5.6568. You know, I told you that I must be in 4 decimal places. Of course, I want to turn it to 2 decimal places. It's going to be h is going to be equal to 5.66. All right, that's my height, and that's the last piece missing in the original formula for area of trapezium, and that's going to be a equals what? A plus b. I told you the a and b are representing the parallel side, opposite parallel side. That's going to be 14 plus b, which is 9, times h, which is 5.66, all divided by 2. So I want to do the one inside the bracket first of all. 14 plus 9 is 23. 23 times 5.66. That's 130. So A is going to be 130.18 all over 2. And that's going to give us 65.09. So that's going to be 65.1 to the nearest 1 decimal place, or just 65 degrees. They're all in degrees. To nearest whole number, So depending on what the examiner wants you to do this, they may say to 2 decimal places to 1 decimal place to as many decimal places as they want. All right, so that's the 30th question. See you in the next few questions. All right, guys. So this is the first question. It says if the area of this trapezium is 36.6 centimeters squared, you should find the height of the trapezium. First of all, number 38 question, the 30th question, please. That number 30, there's it says to find the area, so it's going to be in centimeters squared. Sorry about that. To be in centimeters squared. It's not angle we are finding, so it's not going to be degrees. So moving on, we know that the formula for finding area, of course, the entire area of the trapezium is going to be a plus b. Then we have height. Then we have all over 2. So area has been given to be 36.6. I'm just going to go ahead and substitute. Equals 36.6 equals a. I told you a plus b, or a and b, they are the parallel opposite parallel sides, okay, of the trapezium. All right, so they are the opposite parallel sides of the trapezium. So I'm going to be substituting a to be 36.6, and of course the small letter a is the 6, plus the b is going to be 10, and then height is just going to be there, everything divided by 2. Okay, so let's simplify the one inside the bracket as per BODMAS, right? So we have 36.6 equals 16h all over 2. 2 can cancel 16, so I have 36.6 equals 8h. All right, so h is going to be 36.6 divided by 8, and that's just going to give me 4.575, I think. So height is going to be 4.575 centimeters if it's in 3 decimal places, or as the examiner wishes. So that is going to be that. If you notice one thing here, we have angles 45, angle 60, but angles are not actually even needed here. All right, we notice that we didn't even need to use any angle here. We only need to find our height, and we can find the the parameters we are given are enough for us to calculate to find our height. All right, unlike here that the parameters are not enough to find our height. We needed to find our height using SOHCAHTOA. Okay, but here we will not need SOHCAHTOA despite the fact that we have angles. Okay, and please, sorry again for this. It is centimeters squared because it is area we're finding, not degrees. Okay, because it is not angle, so it's not going to be in degrees. It's going to be in centimeters squared. So that's 31st question. See you in the 32nd question. All right, guys, welcome to the 32nd question. As you can see, it's a manipulation of fractions. So I'd implore you that you unpause the video, see what you can do with it unaided, and then pause the video and see whether we get the same answer. Okay, all right, so let's go. I will just first of all try and remove the bracket. So we have negative 5x squared all over negative 2xy divided by negative 10xy squared all over 4x squared and y. Okay, remember what we normally do? KCF, we keep, then we change, then we flip this. We keep this, we change this, we flip this. And that means it implies that I'm going to keep this one, 5x squared, all over negative 2xy. Then division turns to times, and this fraction, if the flip division, I mean denominator goes up and numerator comes down. So I'm going to be having 4x squared y all over negative 10 xy squared. So this implies that first of all, y cancels y. There's x times x, which is x squared, so it's going to cancel what the x squared here. This 2x squared, you're going to cancel this x squared here. And then what do we have left? We have negative 5 all over negative 2 times, we have 4x squared left here all over negative 10y squared. So there's no x and y up and down. I mean that we can cancel, no x down and no y up. So we go to numbers. Negative 5 here can cancel negative 10. Okay, so negative first of all cancel negative. then 5 here 1, 5 here 2. Okay, then we can use 2 to cancel 4. 2 here cancels 4, we have 2. All right, so there's 2 up here and negative 2 down, so these 2 cancels 2, we are left with just negative. So up, there's nothing up, we just have x squared all over. Down, we have negative y squared, which same thing as a negative x squared y squared. So that's the answer. Number 33, we just simply collect the like terms. Okay, there's a t raised to 2 over 4 here. 2 over 4 here means plus, here it means plus t over 4. If I bring it over, the equal sign becomes negative t. So I'm just going to go 5t all over 4 plus t over 4 means on this other side means minus t all over 4 equals this minus 10. By the time it goes over, the equal sign becomes what? Plus 10. You can put it over 1. Then you multiply through by 4. All right, because that's a common lowest common multiple that will cancel the fraction. Okay, multiply through by 4. That means you take this term, you multiply it by 4. You take this term, multiply it by 4. You take this term and multiply it by 4. All right, so here 4 can cancel 4. 4 cancels 4, and then 10 times 4. So what is left up here? We have 5t minus there's 1 here, 1 times minus t, that's minus 1t, or just minus t, equals 10 times 4, which is 4t. There's an invisible 1 here, so 5t minus 1t, that's going to give, we don't normally write that one, but for the sake of calculation, I'm just going to put it there. Then 5t minus 1t, 5 minus 1 is a 4, so you have 4t equals 40. 40 equals 40. Did you catch that? Anyway, so now what do we do? Let me write it here. It's looking so chaotic. 40 equals 40. So divide both sides by 4. So our t can be home alone. T can be home free. So t equals t equals 10. Alright? Yeah. So number 34. It says to divide 2 raised to the power 10 by 2. This is actually indices. Anything raised to the power. Alright, so anything raised to the power, anything, whenever you say raised to the power, like it means indices, okay? So you can write this as a 2 raised to the power 10 divided by 2. Normally, if you see a number standing by itself, normally it's actually raised to the power 1, okay? Raised to the power 1 is same thing, see the same thing as 2, alright? So 2 raised to the power 10. Okay, so this 2 raised to the power 1 here, alright? So what this thing means is we have 2 raised to the power 10 divided by 2 raised to the power 1. Remember the law of indices from elite primary school and I think early secondary. When they have the same base, all right, you just take one base. Okay, so I'm taking 2. And then the powers, if it's division here, the powers will minus each other. So we have 10 minus 1. If it's multiplication, the powers will add each other. Okay, so that's how it's going to go. So we have to raise to the power 10 minus 1 is 9. So whatever this gives you is the answer. Let me just leave it as index or as indices to raise to the power 9. And then we go to number 35. The same thing here. We just take 7 raised to the power 8. We relate this 7 to this 7. We relate this 5 to this 5. So 7 raised to the power 8, then divided by 7 raised to the power 6 times 5 raised to the power 6 divided by 5 raised to the power 3. Alright? 7 raised to the power 8 is going to give you just 7. Because they have the same division, they have division and they have the same, I mean, they have the same base. Just take out one of the bases, this 7, and then they are dividing each other. The powers will have to minus each other. So you have 8 minus 6 times 5, then 6 minus 3. We have 7 raised to the power 8 minus 6 is 2 times 5 raised to the power 6 minus 3 is 3. So whatever this answer gives you is the final answer. This is going to be about 49 times 125, I guess. Yeah, so that's the answer. Number 36 is the same indices, okay? So we just take one base, but you see they are multiplying each other, so the powers we just have to add, okay? So that's just raised to the power 8, and that's the answer. So see you in the 37th question. All right, so 37th question says to solve the linear inequality. You can see There are two inequalities here. Okay, so how do we break it up into two different inequalities because there are two here. First of all, how do you break it up? You cover this one, you write out the equation, all right, then you cover the second one, then you write out the equation that you see. All right, so that's how it's going to go. If you cover this sign here, we are left with just 3x minus 2. So we are left with this one. And if you cover this other side, we are left with that other equation, x minus 3 less than 3x minus 2. X minus 1, sorry, x minus 1 less than 3x minus 2. So just write it down on this other side. All right, so that's what I did. I cancel this one. I wrote out what's left, 3x minus 2 less than 2x plus 6. Then I cancel this one, kind of not really cancel, just covered it up and wrote what's left. Okay, so the next thing is just to solve separately now. Inequality, you know how to solve inequality, just like normal equation. You collect like terms. Okay, so 2x goes to this side. I'm having 3x. Normally there's a plus here, it becomes minus 2x, right? Less than, I have 6 here already, minus 2 is going to meet it, it becomes plus 2. So 3x minus 2 is going to be x, less than 6 plus 2 is 8. So that's the answer to this one. Then this one too, I collect like terms, x is already here, bring plus 3x that is here over to this side, becomes minus 3x, less than, minus 2 is here before, minus 2. And then this minus 1 goes over, it becomes what? Plus 1. So we have 1x minus 2x. That's going to give us um well, sorry, 1x minus 3. That's going to be minus 2x, and then less than, minus 2 plus 1. That's going to give negative 1. All right, so now we are looking for x, but minus 2 is disturbing it, so we need to divide both sides by minus 2. But you should know one thing in inequality that makes it different from equality or equation is that whenever you divide or you multiply through by a negative number, like we're about to do now, the sign is going to change to its exact opposite. So this less than is going to change to greater than. Whatever sign is there, it's going to change to exact opposite. So divide both sides by minus 2. I'm going to be having minus 2 divided by minus 2. Okay. So minus 2 cancels minus 2. X, then less than becomes greater than. Then minus cancels minus, I have 1 over 2. All right. Yeah. So that's my answer. X less than 8, x greater than 1 over 2. So we want to show that on number line. We just go, both of them are on the positive side. So it's going to be 0. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right. So that's going to be that. X is less than 8. So I'm going to go to 8. It's less than, so I'm going to go to the back. It's going to go back, right? It goes to the back. And I have x is greater than 1 over 2. So what is 1 over 2? 1 over 2, that's going to be half. It's between 0 and 1, I think. All right. Yeah, that's 0 0.5, right? So it's going to be between 0 and 1. So it's going to be here. I'm going to raise it up here. And it also goes forward because it's greater than. So it's going to go forward. So we have this like this. So in other words, both of them are just going to go like this. So it goes like that. Okay, more like this. So you have okay, so you have your 0 here, then you have your, just like, understand what I'm trying to say. So it's going to go like that. We are not going to be shading it because none of it says equal to here, so you just leave it like this. So that's the answer, and that's how it's going to go on number line. I think I want to do this again. Let me just do it more clearly now. There's 0 here, there's a 1 over 2, and then we have 8 here. Yeah, so it goes like that. It will be here. All right. So yeah, between 1/2 and 8. So that's the. So let's go to number 38. That's number 37. Number 38 now. How do we do that? As you can see, it's an equation that is. I mean, it's a fraction, a fractional inequality. All right. So what do we do here in fractional inequality? What we just do is multiply through by the LCM, just like we do in normal equation. And the LCM of between 2 and 4 is just for 2. So we just multiply each time by. I mean, sorry, the LCM is 4. We multiply each time by 4. Multiply this by 4. Multiply this by 4. All right. So I'm just gonna go 2x minus 5 all over 2 less than x minus 4 all over 4. All right. Multiply each time by 2 or multiply through by, sorry, multiply each time by 4. I don't know why I keep saying 2. So multiply by 4 because that's the LCM. Multiply by 4, that's the LCM. Okay. 2 here, 1. 2 in 4 is 2. Then 4 cancels 4. This 2 here is going to be multiplying what we have here. We have 2x minus 5 less than x minus 4. Okay. Open the bracket. It's less than or equal to. Open the bracket. We have 4x minus 2 times minus 5, that's going to be minus 10, then less than x minus 4. So collect like terms. If you collect like terms, it's going to be, okay, 4x, bring x over here, becomes minus x, less than or equal to x minus 4. So minus 4 is going to be left here, and the minus 10 is going to become plus 10. So 4x minus x, we have 4x minus 6, that's 4x minus 1x, that's going to be 3x, less than or equal to, of course, 10 minus 4 is 6. So divide both sides by 3, by 3. So x cancels x, we have s less than or equal to 2. So that's going to be the, the answer. If you want to put that on number line, okay, just go to, it's positive 2, right? So just go to where positive 2 is, put it up here, and it's less than, so it's going to go back. All right, but you can see it's also equal to, so we're going to have to what, shade this. Yeah, so that's the answer. Let's go to number 39. Okay. All right, so the 40th question says the angles of an irregular pentagon and the ratio of this, in this ratio 3 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 9. It says to find all the angles. Okay, so here what we know is that what's the sum of angles in a pentagon? All right, sum of angles in a pentagon should be equal to 540. All right, it should be equal to 540. So all those angles now must add up to 540. Okay, and but then they are being given in ratio form, so which means that they are going to be dividing into 540 by their ratio, just like you share normal ratio. When they share 15 naira between 3 children, or share 120 naira between 4 children in the ratio 2 to 3 to 5, you know, that kind of thing, that we divide, you begin to divide into the whatever it is we are sharing using the ratio, okay, given. So that's how we're going to be doing this. So sum of angles in the pentagon is 540. So we're going to be dividing into 540 using these ratios 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the first thing we do is to find the total ratio, just like we normally do it. Find the total ratio. We have 3 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 and plus 9. And that's going to give us, this is going to be 8 plus 6, that's 14, that's 21, that should be 30. That's 30. So total ratio is 30. All right. So how do we divide into this 540? We take the first ratio, we place it all over the total ratio, then multiply by 540, which is the sum of angles in the pentagon. So this is going to give 3 here, here, 3 goes here. Then 3 cancel 3 here. Then we have 54 degrees. That's the angle of this ratio. Then go to the second one. We go to 5 over 30 times 540. Okay, same thing. Or better still, just 30 and 540 straight away. So you're going to be having 18. So let's just do that. So we have 5 times 18. This will be 90 degrees. Then the third one, we go to the third angle, 6 out of 30 times 540. Here in 540, that's going to give another 18. So 6 times 18, that's 108, 108. Um, the next one, that's going to be 7 all over 30 times 540, and that's going to be 30 here. 30 and 540, that's 18. 7 times 18, that's going to give 126 degrees. And then I think the last angle, that's going to be 9 out of 30 times 540. That gives 30 here, 130, 18. So that's going to be 9 times 18. That's 162. Almost the same thing. They're just sharing it or interchanging the digits. So these are the angles. The question says find all the angles. Okay, so we just found all the angles. What this thing means is if you add all these angles together, all 5 of them will give you 540. Okay, which is the sum of angles inside a pentagon. All right, so that's just that. That's number 40. You have 10 more questions to go. See you then. All right, guys. So this is the breakdown of Mr. Chidi's salary. Okay, how he spent his monthly salary. Number one says, how much did Mr. Chidi spend on his children during the month? Children, you can say children takes 10,000 naira of his salary. That's a 10,000. How much did he spend on transport? Transport also took 10,000 of his salary, as you can see, 10,000. On what item did he spend the largest amount? On what item? That's be what? That's on food. Food is about 30,000. Food is about 30,000 of his salary. So yeah, food is the item that took the largest amount of his salary. That's going to be food. And then it says, what was Mr. Chidi's salary for the entire month? For the whole month, how much did he earn as salary? Let's calculate all of these. He spent 10,000 on children, 15,000 on clothing, 30,000 on food, then 10,000 on transport, and then he saved 5,000. If you add up all of these items, then that's about 70,000 naira. Okay, 10,000 plus 15, that's 25, plus 30, that's 55, plus 10, that's 65, and then plus 5, that's 70,000. All right. And what was his total expenditure for the month? Expenditure is what he spent money on. Spending, expenditure, spending. So which means it is everything here except the savings. That means all of his salary, we have to remove savings from it because he didn't spend that one, he saved it. So the expenditure is just the children, which is 10,000, clothing 15,000, food, which is 30,000, transport, which is 15,000. And all of this will give us 65, or just remove 5,000 from the entire 70,000. That will give us 65,000, which was the total expenditure for the month. So what percentage of his salary was saved for the month? That means savings all over the total salary, which is 70,000. So 5,000 over 70,000 times 100%, and that should give you about 7.14%. So that means he's saving 7.14% of his salary. All right, 7.14% of his salary. What it means is that if you do 7.14% of 70,000, it will give you approximately the savings. Okay, so it tells you that he saves up 7.14% of his salary. So that is the um, answer to that. All right. So number 42, the probability. This is probability. This number 41 is statistics. 42, the probability that Ekene will be alive and his wife will be dead in 5 years' time is 3 all over 4 and 3 all over 5 respectively. Find the probability that in 5 years' time both of them will be alive, or number B, only Ekene will be alive. In probability, when you see questions like this, both of them will be alive means that Ekene will be alive and his wife will be alive. Both means and. And in probability, and means what? Will multiply. Okay. So what probability that both of them will be alive? It means probability that Ekene will be alive, which is 3 all over 4, and his wife will be alive, which is what? 3 all over 5, which is 3 all over 4 times 3 all over 5. And that's going to give 9 all over 20. So the probability that both of them will be alive in 5 years' time is 9 over 20. Number B says only Ekene will be alive. It means Ekene will be alive and his wife will not be alive. Okay, Ekene will be alive and his wife will not, and wife will not be alive, or just what the wife will die, or the wife will be dead. So what probability that Ekene will be alive is 3 over 4. What's the probability that his wife will be dead, or his wife will not be alive? That would be 1 minus probability that she will be alive. And probability that she will be alive is 3 all over 5. 1 minus that is going to give us 2 over 5. So the probability that Ekene will be alive and his wife will be dead. That's what it means by only Ekene will be alive. Alright? And that's going to be what? 3 times, that's 3 over 4 times 2 all over 5, which is going to be 6 all over 20. You can take it to the lowest term. 2 goes there, that's 3 all over 10. Now, I know there's a bit of a, might be a bit of confusing here. He said Ekene will be alive, and we said that he will be alive and his wife will not be alive. Probably that something will happen is 1 minus probability that, probably that something will not happen is 1 minus probability that it will happen. All right. So if the wife will be alive and the probability of that is 3 all over 5, the probability that the wife will not be alive will be 1 minus 3 all over 5. Okay. If you solve this one using the normal subtraction of fraction, what's the LCM? 5. 1 in 5, that's a 5. 5 times 1, 5, minus 5 in 5, 1. 1 times 3, 3. So that's going to be 2 all over 5. So if the probability that she will be alive is 3 over 5, then the probability that she will not be alive will be what? 1 minus 3 over 5, which is what? 2 all over 5. Alright? So that's why I said I used 2 over 5 here. Only Ekene will be alive means he will be alive and his wife will not be alive, which is 3 over 4 and 2 over 5. Okay? Which is what? 6 over 20, which is basically just 3 over 10. Number. Okay. Next question. A ball is drawn at random from a box containing 6 red balls, 4 white balls, and 5 blue balls. What is the probability of getting a red ball, a blue ball, a white ball, and not white balls? Okay. So a red ball, probability of getting a red ball would be, the formula for probability is just, alright, so the formula for probability is favorable outcome all over total outcome. Alright. Probability is what? Favorable outcome. Favorable outcome all over total outcome. All right. What we mean is favorable outcome is for example, is for red ball we are looking for. How many red balls are there? How many red balls are here? There are 5 red balls. All right. What is total outcome? That means if you add up, how many balls are there generally? How many balls are there? How many red balls are there is going to be the one that will be at the top, which is the favorable outcome. Then all over total outcome, which is how many balls are there in general. All right, so there are 6 red balls, 4 white balls, that's 10, and 5 blue balls, that's 15. So that's going to be all over 15. Which is going to give us what? 1 all over 3. So the probability of getting a red ball is what? 1 all over 3. Probability of getting a blue ball, again, we use the same formula. How many blue balls are there? There are 5 blue balls. Okay, sorry, probability of the red ball. That's sorry, it's 6. It's 6. Sorry, it's not it's 6 over 15 because red ball is 6. Okay, so and 6 over 15. What goes in both of them? 3 goes in both, 3 goes in both, 3 goes here, 2, and 3 goes in 15. 5 times. So yeah, sorry about that. Now, probability of a blue ball. How many blue balls are there? That's 5. All over. What's the total outcome? How many balls are there in total? That's 15. So blue balls will be 1 out of 3. Then how many white balls are there? How many white balls? White balls are 4. That's going to be 4. Probability of white balls will be 4 all over the total number of balls that are there, which is 15. So that can be taken to the lowest end. Just leave it like that. Then probability of not getting white balls. Like I told you, probability of doing something, of not doing something is 1 minus probability of doing it. So probability of not getting white balls means 1 minus probability of getting white balls. Alright? 1 minus probability of getting white balls will be probability of not getting white ball. Alright? And what probability of getting white ball? Probability of getting white ball is 4 over 15. So probability of not getting white ball will be what? 1 minus probability of getting white ball, which is 1 minus 4 over 15. Alright? We can turn this 1 over 1, this 1 over 1, can turn into 15 over 15 actually. That's 15 over 15 minus 4 over 15. Alright? So it becomes, both of them become what we call similar fractions, okay? Which means you just take the common denominator and just perform the operation for the numerators only, which is 15 minus 4. 15 minus 4 should be 11 over 15. So probability of not getting white balls is what? 1 minus probability of getting white ball, which is 11 all over 15. Okay, so that is that. And thank you very much. This will be the end of these questions. I'm very sure if you answer all of these questions from number 1 to this up to this level, then the chances of you scoring A's in the forthcoming exam are very, very you know, high.